So, we've got some news for all the Battlefield fans and first-person shooter fans out there. Something was leaked from Electronic Arts about a day ago, and that is Battlefield Hardline, the newest Battlefield game to come that will not be developed by DICE. This is most likely the Battlefield game that they were talking about that would be a spin-off. Now, EA, I'm presenting this journalistically and it is news, so I will not show any of your confidential footage. I am well within my rights to do and cover this. Anyway, let's continue. Now, there are gameplay videos out there. If you search Battlefield Hardline on different sites, maybe Dailymotion for instance, you can find it. I've seen the gameplay, I have seen all the different game modes they have, and unfortunately I am not able to show you the gameplay as that is confidential property of Electronic Arts, and you are not allowed to redistribute that, but with some searching, I'm sure you guys can find that. Battlefield Hardline, originally codename Omaha, is being developed by Visceral Games, the same developers behind Dead Space. It is not being developed by DICE, which were the developers of Battlefield Bad Company, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, etc., etc. I have a feeling that codename Omaha was originally going to be its own game, Rainbow Sixy, it's police, cops versus robbers type stuff, but EA figured, hey, we can carry off the Battlefield name and make a lot more money, which is smart. I mean, I am... This sounds bad, but I am totally more excited to play something called Battlefield Hardline than codename Omaha. Even if it's the same exact game, I'm superficial like that. A lot of people are superficial like that. I'd rather play Battlefield Hardline than codename Omaha. Anyway, before we get into game modes and details like that, here is an official statement. Battlefield Hardline coming this fall. On behalf of everyone at EA and Visceral Games, I'm fired up to confirm our next project, Battlefield Hardline. The game launches this fall, and it's a brand new series in the Battlefield franchise, set up against the backdrop of a genre we all love, the war on crime and the battle between cops and criminals. Several years ago, I was at an internal EA meeting in Barcelona with creative leaders from across the company. It was there I met Karl Magnus, the GM of DICE. For the first time, we immediately began talking about games. I've always loved Battlefield, and KM was a huge fan of Dead Space, which I was working on at the time. We started talking about different ways we could work together, different ways we could take Battlefield and action games in a new direction. It was then that this project that became Battlefield Hardline was born. Or so the story goes. There's been a lot of buzz today about Battlefield Hardline. We're getting ready for E3, and fans found some details on our website about what we're working on for the show. We've been reading all your comments, and we're excited to be going into more details soon on the way. We're also adding new twists and turns to the foundation of Battlefield multiplayer, and more about how we're bringing our strength at Visceral to singleplayer. I hope you'll join us for the official world premiere on June 9th at noon PDT, and sign up for updates on the new game at our website. Steve, Vice President and General Manager, Visceral Game. Now, as you guys know, Battlefield 4 and just the franchise in general has a huge focus on cooperative efforts, teamwork, and Battlefield Hardline is probably the pinnacle of that. So one of the game modes is called Heists, and Heist is basically, well, the robbers are trying to make off with a big amount of loot, and the cops are there at every turn to try and stop them. And teamwork is required on both sides. The robbers maybe are breaking into a bank vault. Picture, I'm kind of picturing, and from what I saw with gameplay, The Dark Knight Rises when Bane and his gang of thugs are breaking into Wall Street, or the trading floors there, regardless. And then they escape on motorcycles, the cops set up different roadblocks, all that stuff. Pretty similar to what I saw with Battlefield Hardline. I wouldn't be surprised if part of that was some of the inspiration. Moving on to the next game mode. In Rescue, SWAT masterminds move in to save hostages after a robbery gone wrong. I'm not sure exactly what role the robbers will play, since that's really a specific scenario, and these are different game modes. For instance, these are comparable to Conquest or Rush or Capture the Flag, you know, game modes like that. As this would be, you know, what you select in the multiplayer menus with Quick Match or whatever, but I don't know how exactly that would fit in. I mean, is everyone just dropped into this scenario and the robbers have to play their role? That's not very open. And then there's Hotwire mode, which is basically a car chase between cops and robbers, in which you have to think fast and drive even faster. Anyway, that one looks like a lot of fun. I don't know if it was in-engine. Frostbite looks amazing, so I wouldn't be surprised if it is. It looks incredible, and if that is in-game, then fantastic. It looks like a lot of fun. The cars look like they handle extremely well. I wouldn't be surprised if EA had Visceral pull some people from Criterion to work on it. Some of the vehicles you see kind of look like gauntlets from Grand Theft Auto, you know, street muscle cars, stuff like that. Then you also see SWAT vans with turrets on them. And of course, the robbers have, you know, RPGs and different weapons that they're shooting from outside of their car. I assume that the robbers' vehicles are going to be a lot faster to make up for having less armor. Maybe the cops also have some high-pursuit vehicles that also have very little armor. We'll see. Then we've got Blood Money, which is basically King of the Hill mode, where the cops and robbers fight over a big, huge pile of cash. And well, the cops fight to take it over and bring it back to their checkpoint objective, their home base, and the robbers, well, they fight the cops off to try to bring in extraction. A huge point for Battlefield Hardline is single player. And this game is being developed by Visceral, of course, who brought you amazing single player experiences like Dead Space and the single player in Battlefield Hardline is as follows. It's basically going to play out like an episodic cop drama. You've got a couple different characters, you've got cliffhangers between the episodes, so I'm not sure if they're going to release it like they did with Halo 4's, what was that called? Spec Ops? I can't remember, but I'm not sure if they're going to release it periodically or in one lump sum, you know, and have it be played out like levels, kind of like Left 4 Dead was. I hope that's the case. Please let that be the case. That would be a smart way to go. It basically feels like Battlefield 4, where you've got like 4 different characters and they all seem kind of stereotypical. I'm sure they visited TV tropes a lot for this one, but it looks like it could be fun. It's mildly entertaining in the footage that I saw. Again, it's very early to tell, and who knows how early this footage is, as they call it Omaha. It's not an official Battlefield Hardline. I'm sure they've changed it for the E3 presentation. Anyway, destructible environments make a return in Battlefield Hardline. You are fighting across urban and rural America in various locations. Deserts, towns, cities, museums, bank, vaults. It's pretty diverse, it looks like, and they look beautifully sculpted. So, that'll be really interesting to me. I'm sick of playing in all these, like, dusty Arabic towns or fucking European cities. I want to see some different locations. You know what? American locations aren't really featured prominently in FPS shooters nowadays. Regardless, gadgets and customization also play a large part in Battlefield Hardline. You can customize anything from your primary weapon and scopes, handles even, accessories for them, attachments, secondary weapon, and gadgets like claymores, fletcher launchers. You can customize your knife, of course, your grenade, and you've got specializations and your appearance that you can also customize as well. There's a load of different weapons, they said, that will be featured in Battlefield Hardline, so that's pretty exciting. The following classes in the game are Operator, Medic, Mechanic, Engineer, Enforcer, Support, and Professional, Recon. And this is a SWAT game. It's cops and robbers, but it's basically SWAT and thieves, as is labeled in the leaked source material. I have some of the different weapons pictured, and some of the different accessories, and some of the different rewards, and icons, and vehicle unlocks. It's a mouthful. In single player mode, there is a police scanner vision that you can use. It's kind of like detective vision throughout the Batman Arkham games. It's being touted as a wonderfully rich feature that makes the environment intuitive and unlocks a whole new layer of play. Who knows if that's true? I didn't really care for detective vision in the Arkham games. It's a little boring, redundant, but whatever. Apparently that's a big feature that they're focusing on, and you can use the money that Detective Omaha earns in Operation Omaha Battlefield Hardline for unlocks. In multiplayer? Maybe just single player? I'm guessing both. They didn't specify. But one really cool thing to note, zip lines. One of the gadgets in multiplayer can be used anywhere, any place. Zip lines and grappling hooks, respectively, so that really spices out the combat. As far as vehicular warfare goes, you needn't worry. They're making a point in saying that it is going to stay strong in this addition to the series. Muscle cars, police cruisers, armored support cars, SWAT vans, planes, boats, armed helicopters. They're all going to be packed into this game and also featured prominently within the multiplayer and single player. But that's pretty much everything that there is to know at this time about Battlefield Hardline. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like the video if you enjoy, for more Battlefield news, gameplay, commentary, all kinds of stuff. And I, myself, am very much looking forward to this game, and I will definitely cover it in full. Can't wait to pack on my heat and get on the beat. Wow, that was bad. We'll see you again next time, guys. Right here on Massive.